Welcome, ASL players. We've got the Parting Shots replay loaded up and ready to go. So here's our basic map again from the other video. The analysis video, we see the victory point locations on the top part of the map. Pretty much board 22. And that's what the objectives we're going to be looking for, and also casualty points. So let me load the counters up and we'll discuss the setups as we begin. So here's what I normally see for the British setup. So obviously the Japanese are restricted in this small zone down here, and the British can set up north of this red line here. I'm not sure if we delete it or not. It's kind of out of the way. So most of the time I do delete those, but so this is what you see here again. By the scenario special rule, units can set up concealed if in concealment terrain. So, and typically the problem with Vassal, what you probably want to do with Vassal is take a concealment counter. I don't have a concealment counter down there. Well, yeah, you want to take one of these. Darn it. You want to take one of these concealment counters for units that are outside your line of sight, and you want to put it right there. So when your opponent looks at that unit, because if I just hover here, it automatically shows me the unit underneath of it, but I do not have that ability because he's not in the line of sight of any of my units. But just going through, and usually you're going to count up units, right? Expand. Obviously, most of these are all single stacks. So, which means there's only one location where it's dual stacked. Is there a leader there, or is there not a leader there? It doesn't really give you a lot of information. What information you do have is that there's one LMG and two mortars in the British OB. Guess what? You already see those. So this must be, well, it's likely to be a single man counter. And since that's a single man counter and none of these are doubled up, it's likely that at least one of these units is also a single man counter. We'll get into that. So again, getting back to the concealment, you should probably label this. You can't label the concealment marker for some reason. Anyway, you should label this or hip. What you could do is you can hip this unit. Let me zoom in. I think what I normally do is, since you can't label this, hip this unit. So what your opponent will see and not be kind of confused by what he sees, instead of seeing 3 counters, he'll see 2 counters. Let me zoom in a little bit more. He'll see 2 counters, right? And this counter represents the 248. Plus, when you're playing and you don't forget to take this off, and so he's like concealed. So what you'll see, simply because that unit, come on, you serious? Since that unit is unconcealed, the support weapon is unconcealed, the unit is hidden, this concealment marker essentially is taking the place of that hidden unit, which obviously I hipped it so I can see it, but if you were playing against me, you wouldn't be able to see it. So you'll see that. So what that does is allow you to, and you can clone this. Okay. I guess you can't. But anyway, you would take another concealment, put it under your unit over here, and then also put it under your unit here, hipping that unit as well, to disallow any line of sight or hover reveals. See, what you would see is just the concealment and the mortar. Anyway, enough of that. So anyway, he didn't do that. No big deal. I put this up here. Hopefully that won't screw up his entry. If it does, then I'll just restart the log. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'll unhip this guy. All right, so we have all of the support weapons in vision. Again, we got to try and figure out what's what, right? All of the support weapons are in line of sight. Looks like he's got a mortar on both halves of the board. decent places. We've got, coverage over jungle here, even up to this location as well. So he gets the cheap -1. That's a really good position as well, simply because it's the bridge. And instead of being a gully, this is a stream, so it would cost 3 movement factors to enter the stream and then 2 to leave. So that would slow down really any movement. Essentially, any movement that's going to be getting into the stream is pretty much going to stop, which isn't terrible, but it is a lot of movement factors. And this is not an open ground hex for all you trolls out there that think this is an open ground hex. It is obviously not. Yes, there's no fingers emanating from it, but just because that wasn't transferred over from the original board doesn't make that a non-stream hex. Actually, the additional descriptions of brown and green and blue also signify it being a stream. But yeah, the fingers help. Don't know why these just aren't changed. Because honestly, we only have like about 5 or 6 streams that are on all the boards that probably don't have fingers emanating from them. So that would eliminate that question for all eternity. But that's beside the point. Not an open ground hex. If you're playing someone that says this is an open ground hex, tell him he's a dick, and then just go on and keep rolling your snake eyes. So mortar over here, mortar over here. The mortar here is more coverage, probably just right down in this area. Maybe here, here, and here. It's not terrible, but it's very centralized. And so if he needs help on one side, he can alternate. This mortar's pretty much going to be stuck on this side unless I absolutely put everybody over here and take 2 turns to get there. He simply just runs down the road, and he's in position to fire on those jungle hexes in probably the British second player turn. So again, leaders, he has when we get line of sight, when we set up our units, we're going to see this half squad here. Typically, the mortars are used by half squads. Could this be a full squad over there since I really don't have the right of inspection? Yeah, it could be a full squad. Unlikely, simply because he's got support right here in the middle that can give flanking fire to enemy units going over the area. Note that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the range of any 4, 5, 8. So this will be half range on this side over here. So movements this way is going to be a 2-2 versus a 4-2 going in the middle. And you're going to have to use that way to get on the bridge anyway. So something to think about. But 2-2 is still pretty nasty. Anytime you allow your opponent to apply a -2 modifier to his attack, regardless of the strength of the attack, you are pretty much going to have to roll something if he rolls a 7. 7 on the 1 will make it, I think, will make it a pin task check. Let me see. Yep, 7 on the 1 with a 1-2 is a pin task check. So 2-2, if he takes that 2-2 shot here to there, if he rolls a 7, that's going to be a normal morale check. Nothing to spit at. Only half our units are elite. The other half are 7 morale. And some of those guys are just 337 partisans, Burmese. So something to look forward to. Not a free ride over there. I was thinking hard. We'll get to my strategy once I come over here about what my options are. So what else are these guys? There are no dummies in the game. You can probably presume some of these guys might be half squads up here. He can only deploy 1 more squad, and he has 6 half squads. So there's 1, 2, let's go 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be likely. 6 half squads, and he could also deploy 7, 8, leaving him 5 squads and 3 leaders. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 leaders. That will be too many counters. So in my opinion, based upon what his counter's setup is here, he does have he has nobody is deployed. Let me adjust that modifier there. 180 is way too much. Jesus. Okay. So he has no one deployed from his setup. Again, how do you know that? You presume that the mortars are half squads. He has 4 more half squads. Let's just mark them off here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And he has 6 squads and 3 leaders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2. Oh, there's a 4, 5, 8 here. That's right. So, in that case, you can presume that these guys are going to be, there's got to be a leader somewhere here. I forgot about this 4, 5, 8 right here in the middle. Let me get rid of some of this crap. And again, it's just a general setup. He just kind of gives you an idea where some of his units are. Of course, he could put them anywhere. These could be leaders up front, theoretically. If he does put leaders up front, then he'll probably just instantly lose the game. Because remember, he has to rally his units. The Japanese don't really need to rally units till late game. And so always try to keep one of your Japanese leaders around for that purpose. There will be a straggler or 2, whether you go half squads, whether you deploy first, or happen to have casualties later. You're not going to have a plethora of broken units, but the units that you do have broken, you'd want up and ready to go at a Bonsai charge notice. So keep that in mind. And what is this on the bottom here? I have no clue why that's not drugged down there. Anyway, so let's take a look at my setup. And I had to check some rules here. Again, when you put concealment counters on your brown units, obviously it will not conceal them. I don't really care. They're just split up. Again, I deployed both my units, and so I have 5 stacks of units. And pretty much, I think that's why they give you the partisans in this one here, is so you would deploy the partisans and allow yourself maximum movement capabilities. But we're actually kind of going to go over that. And based upon what my analysis is saying, the leadership and the leader bonus doesn't apply unless you're the same nationality. Well, the Burmese and the Japanese are not the same nationality. So this 7-0 here, which I was right anyway, in terms of, I'm not sure if the leader bonus is considered leadership modifiers, but even with allied troops, the leadership benefit doesn't apply, regardless of whether it's partisan or not. So it's neither here nor there. So the 7-0 unit with these guys, the 7-0 can move 6, but the partisans can only, or the Japanese can only move 4, non-CX, of course. Now, it doesn't mean that this leader can't haul ass later, right? These Japanese units can go 1, 2, let's say the Japanese double time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The leader's not going to be double timed, and then, well, 3, 4.5. It won't matter at that point. And then the leader can split off later if he'd only went 4 movement points or 4 movement factors. So we've got a leader with this guy, half squad here, half squad here, half squad in the middle, half squad here. Now, if you see what my setups are in all my stacks, we've got essentially a 4-4-8 and 4-4-7 in 5 stacks. Every single stack has a 4-4-8 and a 4-4-7. What I've done there is to essentially give everyone a smoke making possibility. So if you look at the stack here, we've got the 4-4-8 here with a 2 exponent. I don't really rely on the 1 exponents, but the 2s, you might get one, obviously with twice as much frequency. 1 in 3 chance is not too bad. And so I didn't deploy these guys to give them mortars. I can fire a mortar just as well shooting it directly. I broke up a 238. Actually, the 238s here are in the OB. These are not deployed. So I didn't deploy any of my units. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? It's like, I simply decided not to deploy. I really won't be scouting these guys out. I don't care. I don't need to bounce these guys, and we'll go over why. So again, 228, 447 in each hex. I got my LMG 12, essentially 12 firepower stack with my 9/9-1 right in the middle. Whether he goes left or right, I honestly am still just kind of wavering on that, depending on how he reacts after my first move. So this is just a 12 firepower unit for the most part. I don't expect him to break anyone more than an 8 morale unit would, to be honest. Just the roll is going to be one roll difference. 12 firepower or 8 firepower. That's the difference between rolling a 7 and a 6. So I think I can manage the dice on that. Again, everyone's got a partisan for the movement factor bonus. So let's go over the movement factor bonus. When this unit here moves, let's move the map. So remember, he's in, what hex is this? F14. So he's in F14. He's got to cross his hedge. So he'll go 2. He'll go 2 here. 3.5. 5. So he's going to have to double time anyway. Remember your leaders. Does he have a leader with him? I think he does. He does have a leader there. But note that the 127 will not get the leader bonus. Okay? The 127 will not get the leader bonus because it is not of the same nationality. So you've got to take that into account when you're moving. So it's 1, 2, 3.5, 5. So what does that mean? That means that the partisan's got to be CXing. So the partisan will have to CX this way, CX the partisan, whereas your Japanese units will not be CXed. It's almost pointless, to be honest with you, when you have that sort of disparity of leadership giving the movement factor bonus. If the units that have a different movement factor bonus with those partisans, you can't give them your leader MF bonus. This is actually a great overlay. I mean, it's got great detail on it, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, it's an embankment railroad, not an elevated railroad, which this appears to be honest with you. It looks like an elevated railroad. So, stacks of units, for all intents and purposes, can only move 4 without somebody being CX'd. Now, the leader, the first hex that we have, this here, these guys could only move 4. They have to CX if they want to move with the leader the entire way. At this point, they're probably just going to CX into J17 anyway. The leadership is not going to make that. The only difference the leadership will make that is that it will be 1.5 points to that location. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And again, Stu, what difference does it make? It was 5.5, 6. Well, when this unit here opens up, right? Once we move into here at 5.5, this unit fires. Let's say it's a 4 firepower unit, 4 firepower even. He gets 1 shot. There's no subsequent shot on that. So total shots into J17 from this unit will only be 1. So you're minimizing your the damage that's going to be taken up on that unit. And the same thing on the side over here. Any units ending 1.5 into any of these locations can only be fired upon once. And if they first fire, guess what? They're not adjacent, so they can't fire again. That's a big advantage. Something mechanically that you have to understand. that when you expend 1.5 movement factors, you're not going to be taking that double shot. The standard double, for first fire and subsequent first fire into the same hex. But he can first fire here, and then if anybody moves here, he could subsequent first fire over there. Standard. That's normal defensive fire procedures. So that, again, that is the primary purpose of the partisans, is to minimize exposure to fire in the appropriate hexes. And again, what are the appropriate hexes? We've got brush, which is brush. We've got kunai and jungle. So it doesn't apply when you go into buildings. Okay? So, but it does make a difference over here. And there's lots of, to be honest with you, up on the approach to the village, there are a lot of jungle hexes, and beyond the village, even within the village, as we pointed out earlier. This is going to be a key spot. I mean, it's in the middle of a whole bunch of buildings. Over here, maybe not so much, but you never know. You never know how he's going to react. You never know what your troops might end up doing. So they do serve a huge value, even though they're 3 firepower. And guess what? My guys are 1 firepower. So they're really not going to be doing a damn bit of good firepower-wise. Now, say, hey, Stu, you just said 1-2 is the fact. Yes, absolutely right. 1-2 is the fact. So he still has to take into account that. But what's the range of this guy? 2. 2 hexes. If you're 2 hexes away and you move away from this unit, you have no firepower upon him. All right, let's get to the Japanese move. And I may have made an error in simply after this discussion. It's likely I made an error in the movement by not CXing this unit when moving with the leader. You'll see that. Again, if you CX the 127s, guess what? They're not going to have any firepower influence on the game. You've got 8 firepower here, 1 additional firepower from this unit here. Not going to make a difference. You're never going to add him to the firepower. They're strictly for movement purposes only. So in terms of these 3 stacks here, there may be an error. Of course, the LMG might make a difference, right? Because that's 2 firepower. So, but it doesn't make a difference early, and then later on, I think we just move 2 and 4. So let me kind of burn through this first movement log. Oops, of course, that always happens there. You always have to hit that arrow at the key. So he gets to conceal. I think he gets to conceal. He conceals this unit over here because out of LOS, and it's 457. I'm not sure why I didn't do that one either. So here we just move our 238 CXing, just your standard bump and drag. 1, 2, 3, 4, bump, and guess what? You've got a half squad, right? So that corresponds to what we expected to be at least in the front line. But one thing that you have to anticipate, if you, again, this is a casualty victory point game, not a exit points off the hex, off the board, whatever like that. It's a casualty victory point game. So, might it behoove the Brits to put 458s up here, right? Let's say I move a stack of units. Let's say I move, a full stack of 447s in there, and 2 of them jump in close combat. We already discussed the value of that, right? First of all, they're going to be CX, and they're going to be advancing into jungle. That's +2 straight off the bat. You are likely going to be ambushing them in that situation if you anticipate them being counter-exhausted. So you're looking at, you're looking at essentially a +2 benefit on your side as the British player. And now as a 248, you still have that bonus 2, but you're less likely to attack. Maybe you'll simply get the hell out of Dodge and then move away in your next movement phase if the opportunity presents itself. There is a wall here. But technically, I think that wall's gone at that hex side. It's kind of one of those rules. It's just, anyway, so he fires, and we'll just go back to the other movements. I'm not sure what happens here. And oh yeah, on the setups, let's talk about the setup of the map. We put this over here. I think Mark set these up. The mortars here, the acquisition markers. To be honest with you, normally I use, if not flip, but size. You know, if you just have mortars, you don't have artillery pieces or AT guns or tanks, you know, you don't have to use a giant counter you can just put, -2. We know what that's from. They're going to be the mortars, nothing else. So I just usually reduce the size to help you possibly see what's in the hex instead of it just being kind of obnoxious. So here we go right here. Did I CX? I did not CX this guy. I think I moved him from this location here. That's 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, so this unit actually should be CX'd. And this stack is CXing, so it doesn't really matter. Again, because there's no leadership bonus that you're going to get from it. But these guys, the 127 probably should have been 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Yeah, both these 127s technically should be CX at this point in time. This guy's just kind of bouncing back and forth. Interestingly enough, again, you're going to treat this as a hill lock. The 458 here does have line of sight to here. He gets an average roll, and I get a whole bunch of morale checks and partisan breaks, and which is unfortunate because that's partisan is very useful. Again, this guy rolls up into that. He exposes who he is, and then I'll lose my concealment. Simple as that. And he doesn't take a shot, so which is okay. And then this guy over here, I just haul ass over this direction. My partisan gets pinned by that shot, and this shot is from really nice shot over here, directly down the hex line. I don't know. First half of this game, I was kind of out of it. I'm not sure what the deal was, but you'll see a lot of lazy LOSs that I have a tendency to ignore and either get caught with my pants down or get really lucky. And because he rolls a 6 there. That's a task check. That's a 4, 4 even, so it's a 6 pin task check. Watch a morale check actually. 2, 4, maybe he just fired the LMG. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I was taking a whole bunch of task checks on that list, so there you have it. And unfortunately, the 127 gets pinned. Remember, if you have a 9-1 leader, and that 127 is exposed to any morale checks or task checks, your leadership modifier will not apply to the partisan unit in any stretch of the imagination. If that was an allied unit, it would be worsened by 1, but in this case, it's only -1. But let's say it was a 9-2 Japanese leader, it would have 0 impact on the partisan's ability to pass morale checks and task checks in every other application of leadership. So here's what I think this is the end of the final fire. I think he actually, I thought for some reason that he eliminates. I got lucky here because he fired the 248 a 1-2 on these units there. So I think I got lucky there. But again, 8 morale, 7 morale, long range 1-2. You know, it is what it is. It's just the choice that I chose to make in terms of my defense. So he must have gotten pinned by some fire over here by my big stack. The route, essentially, since I can't see anybody over here, I can see this guy. I decide to route directly this way. First of all, interestingly enough, on this location here, where's his destination to route? Right? What's the lowest in MF? Which hex is lowest in MF? Which building or woods hex is closest in MF? H17. That's 1 MF to go that location. Can I ignore that? Yeah, absolutely. Why can I ignore that? Because it's the same distance from the 458 here, and it's the same distance to this unit up here. So I can ignore that if necessary. But I chose not to. Why? Because they got my leadership. I got my leader right over here. So advance, the leader will advance onto this unit and hopefully assist in rallying that unit in the future. He's obviously not going to be rallied in the British player turn. My best chance is in the next Japanese player turn, and he'll need a 6, obviously. So, unless he's DM'd. And then he'll need a Snake Eyes. So, if he's DM'd, this unit's never coming up. And if he's not, then he's coming up 40% of the time, about something like that. Just an average run of the mill. Again, CX here, and he's pinned. This is really not conducive to a good CC either way. But 1 to 2 minus 2 is pretty, actually it's probably better. So we advance all our units up. We don't advance the pin unit. We're said, I might need his movement later. I'm just going to chill. And we advance our 448 directly in the row here. Again, why? Why? Another reason why you need to expose a unit, right? This unit here. Expose a unit. Okay? Don't say, oh, that's a real unit. Yeah, no shit, it's a real unit because you don't have any dummies. But if this were a 458, would I advance this guy here? Maybe. Maybe not. But when you reveal that to be a 248, again, that's part of the rule. Right? This would be 8 firepower point blank, 6 firepower following right up. This guy's probably going to be a half squad, especially if it's a 447, especially if I only had 447s, and he would probably be shredded. That unit will essentially be eliminated. But I'm looking at a 4 even and a 6 even. Far higher success rates on that, between a 4 and an 8. Okay? So reveal units. That's why you want to reveal units. Does it give you information? Yeah. Does he have to temporarily reveal his unit to cause you loss of concealment? That is a choice your defender makes. If he doesn't want you, if you want to think, make your opponent think that that's powerhouse, if that's a full squad, which in this case, it might be a good example of that. If you anticipate him advancing here, guess what? You've got this unit back here that's going to cause that loss of concealment when he advances in the open. So you never, ever have to bother with this unit being exposed. Unless you want to fire, obviously. He hasn't fired yet. So does it hurt if this unit here is concealed? Nah. Because if he stays back here and he doesn't move out in the open here, he's here. Where's he going to move? He's going to move right here. Well, so what? Why care about that location? Don't automatically reveal your guys if you know he's done moving. Like I was done moving here, right? Because I think I double teamed up there. Maybe I illegally used his movement factor bonus there. It's likely that I did that. So again, it's an error. But there's no point. Let me reduce these stacks. There's no point if he's here or here. If you're not going to fire upon him, there's almost no point in revealing that. It's going to be a stack of units. It's going to be a full squad support weapon or full squad 2 LMGs, whatever. It's just a stack of guys. Do you need to know if there's a leader there? Probably not. Again, especially if you're not going to fire upon him. This unit over here, that's his responsibility. Loss of concealment. Look, if he moved up there, I'm going to reveal myself because I might fire upon you. Why? I've got 6 firepower. And it prepares these units on the right-hand side. When you advance up in a terrain like this, that now they could fire upon you without having worried about, you know, you being concealed. But over here, this unit's never going to fire. It's just going to stop that unit from moving in the open ground. This unit's going to go back. 100%. This unit's going back. You know, if he breaks this unit, what happens? If this unit breaks, well, in this case, since I don't have any leaders over in that area, he'll be out for a while. He'll be out for a turn. You know, maybe a full game turn, since it'll be the British player turn. But I've got 12 firepower, and I've got a whole bunch of, I've got 8 firepower plus 2 there. Do you want to be exposed to that? You could technically eliminate that unit. Again, what are the victory conditions, people? Casualty victory points. You don't want this shit going up. You know, if this was a normal whatever and you could lose a half squad, no big deal. If I lose that guy for a shot, then that's 1 free point. I'm not gaining any victory points if I were to fire upon this unit. All you're doing is breaking the unit. All you're doing is breaking the unit. He'd have to stay in these woods over here. Well, probably one of these woods. And there's no leaders over there. So it would delay him. Again, that's an error on my part. I have no leaders on that side. You know, that's something that I had to deal with. And this guy was pretty much going to be the go-to leader in case he needed to. He's got 9 morale. If necessary, if he has to bounce over here, he bounces over there. If not, the 2-3 date just stays broken for a little while. I'll self-rally him later. He'll need a 7 in 2.5, 3, 2 Japanese rally phases or whatever. Anyway, again, simply looking at the casualty victory points and how it's going to apply to your victory conditions. Can you afford to lose that 248? Not really. Is he going to break and die? Not really. You've got no other fire upon him. You've got a shot here. It's going to be a 4+2 at best. Or 4+1 at best. I mean, you'd have to roll low. And that's about all. That's all you have. Now, if this guy had a mortar, and that'd be a 2-1. Yeah, I mean, that's a potential 4+1, 2-1. I would fire the mortar first. And not this guy. But neither here nor there. We're just talking about this game, but that's just general strategy. So we're advancing up. Say, Stu, where the hell are these guys going over here? Let's back up just a little bit. I need to zoom in a little bit better than that. I need to adjust the zoom level. This is garbage. All right. So this is standard. This is obviously, you know, put some pressure over here. The concept is 8, 16 firepower over here. Both good leaders. We're just going to put some pressure. Essentially, this is almost like a probing force, to be honest with you. And almost considered a feint. Because it's like, I was thinking, if I send some units over here, because obviously, right, these are the big fat buildings. These are big fat ones over here, right? That's 7 points. What do I have over here? 5. And those aren't even close to one another. And the other ones are way in the back, so these won't even come into play later. So this is obviously the quick and dirty points. So thinking that he might defend over here more heavily, I have to placate him. I have to say, okay, yeah, those are good points. I'm sending troops over there. And here are my troops. If these troops over here are in the middle, what are all these guys doing? Or at least these guys. These guys are going up and over to this wall. That's where those guys are going. Maybe in this building. Because this building can start seeing all that crap over here, just like we covered in the tactics. They're going to this building. These guys can see all this crap right here, just like we covered in the tactics. They might be jumping over that road into that spot. They can see all this shit over here. You need to keep these guys pinned down on this side of the map for essentially the entire game. Because you don't want them to come on over too early before your Japanese units can make it break back to the back. You have to delay these units. Could you put all your Japanese units, could all these guys and the guy down here push this way? Absolutely. Nothing saying that you can't do that. Would that be very effective in destroying all these units over here? Absolutely. You're going to lose some Japanese. He's going to lose some of his force. Let's say he loses 2/3 of his force and you lose a quarter of your force. You know, you might be up a little bit on victory points. You might not. It'll be close. But let's say you take control of this half. Well, then all these guys move this way and you're back to square one. Right? You're back to square one. Well, what are you going to do here? You're going to spend more time. You're going to accomplish. You take this. Again, it's only like 6 turns. And then you'll have to use your partisans to go up through here to attempt to take this. Might his reinforcements come on then? Maybe, maybe not. But he's gonna set up here. He's gonna set up here and these walls right here. Right? And most likely set up somebody here. This would be very difficult to defend. Well, actually, it's not that big a deal since your units are 8 morale. But if you were to defend these hexes here and broke, you're pretty much going to have to be interdicted going back to rally points. Not a big deal. You're 8 morale. If you can't roll an 8, you know, get the hell out of the game. So that's not that big a deal. And he'll be taking casualties because if he because this isn't much of a terrain. This is +1 if you're behind it. If you're on it, there's no height advantage for that. And so for all intents and purposes, that's an open ground location. It might negate it. I'm not sure. I'm really hazy on that. It's sort of one of those rules where you're playing it when you're playing it and you know the rule then. And as soon as you go have lunch, you forget it. So that's one of those rules that you should probably write down, put on a counter and stick it over here, or put the counter on it and like a label. Something that you could put a label on. Say open ground, no height advantage, that sort of thing. And be done with it. Damn it. Okay. So that's to be a useful tool for those labels. So anyway, end of turn 1, pretty uneventful. It's kind of showing what I might be doing. Say, hey, Stu, what about these guys down here? These guys? If you notice, there's a lot of stuff that you can bypass. I can bypass here, 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 enter, enter. What am I going to use here? I'm going to use my partisan to get through that pretty quickly. Okay, so I can go 2, 3, and then that's another 3. So it'd be 6 points to get right here. Well, actually, this is 1.5, 2.5, 4, 5.5, and then advance. Assuming the partisan again. I don't think I CX the partisan. I gave him the 2-map movement factor bonus, which is not illegal, and be over here to hopefully start threatening this side, because this is a stack of units. So I've got 4 individual units that's going to make its way in this general direction. So if I got 4 units here, he has 1 half squad here. Probably not going to withstand the onslaught. So what does that do? Right? It's going to put pressure on my opponent. Keep pressuring your opponent. Look, let's continue with the log. I'm talking too much. So Japanese turn. British turn comes. His rally face. He prep fires. He skulked his old Skulk-O-Matic. The old Skulkerino. That's what I expected. Didn't expect anything more. And then he moves into certain other locations. Again, where do these 2 half squads go? Back. Just like we anticipated. This is what you should expect. If you expect this and your opponent doesn't do that, he's throwing you a curveball. It's like, oh, what has he got planned? Maybe he's going to counterattack. He moved a unit back here. Look at that. This guy here moved that direction. Most likely what's in there. Probably a -1 leader. It very well could be another full squad. So you're looking at 8 firepower with a -1 leader, and you've got a buddy right next to him. So it's, you know, that's some serious firepower. You know, so nothing to spit at. And he's got a bunch of mortar cover. So that's what you anticipate. Over here, really hasn't changed much. He went back to normal. This guy moved over here. Okay, we're checking things out. No real information has been gained over here. So let's continue with the Japanese movement phase, right? I probably assault move here. I'm not sure. I don't recall. But he's going to first fire. My guy does break. I probably assault move there, and I probably try to smoke on him. I don't remember the die rolls. Maybe if you saw the die rolls earlier, you can probably try to verify that. But again, that's what the 448's job is. Matter of fact, let's look at that. No, I don't see any smoke roll. There should have been a smoke roll there. I don't know. Sometimes the log doesn't show it. Anyway, you assault move here. Oh, you can't assault move and smoke. Just go 2 and then smoke him. That's the idea. I might have tried it over here. He fires up these guys. These guys. Again, you take the shot. You don't move in stacks. The other guy comes in the residual fire attack. He's rolling pretty decent on that. I think my guy breaks. Yep, so he stripes. Border guy stripes. Gets a good roll. Guess what? My 127 squad, half squad. What can he do? Let's do. He's a piece of crap. Well, yeah, if you treat him like a piece of crap. But what can he do? He can come over here and search. What happens if you lose him at this point? Not much. You know, if your objective is to go this far for all these units, if your objective for these units on the right-hand side is that, right, from here, the entire game, he's no longer going to be used to moving into the woods as easily. You're probably looking for a slugfest. So let's search him out. See what happens here. I don't know what I rolled. 4. So 4 are, I can't remember if it's 4 searchable or non-searchable. It's like all inverted. Regardless, if it's 4 searchable, I get him. 4 non-searchable, I still get him. So boom, those are exposed. What does that allow me to do? That allows me to, because remember, you can't, if I wanted to pop him and lose his, if I want to pop him and lose his concealment, guess what? I get 1. Here I get both their concealment losses. So Ichikawa can now move into this location, and he just can't skulk back there because I can blast the living crap out of him. Same thing with this guy. He goes here, I blast him. Right? 2 units are now exposed to my fire. And again, he could fire on him right now in the advanced fire phase if I didn't want to get adjacent to him. So let's continue. Search. Who cares if you lose? Will that cost me a point? Yes. Search casualties will cost me a point. What do I have to gain? Likely a point. What is this guy going to do? That's why he moves first. He moves first, searches. He finds out who these guys are. What can this guy do? That gives us more options now that both these guys are exposed. Well, I can go here for 2, 3, 4, 5 to avoid any fire from this guy. And then what? Advanced fire, right? This guy's TI, he can't involve. Who cares? That's a 4 even shot, 4 even shot there with a -1 leader. Or we can not fire at all. And then what? Why wouldn't I fire upon these units? Why wouldn't Ichikawa, if he moves here, fire upon these units? Do I want to break them? If I break them, what happens? He routes here, or he routes here. Or he can go here and then here. And then what happens? I advance here. Next turn, these guys are broken, DM'd. Could I break them again? I might have other guys to look at. These guys are still not exposed. Could you do that? Absolutely. What else could you do? Send a squad here, send a squad here. Probably send the 448 over here and the 447 over here with a leader. 8 morale is going to survive longer in open ground. So he has to, essentially it'll be the same shot for him. Might he attack Ichikawa? I would probably attack Ichikawa if he's not going to leave the situation. Simply because it's a Japanese leader to minimize the bonsais. And but you're only giving him a 7 morale unit. That way, over here, you got 8 morale unit. Plus, what does that allow this 8 morale unit to do? It could smoke this unit here, and then Ichikawa could then move over to this location. Simple as that. Just a little hop, skip, and jump. Whether I do that or not, no clue. But that is an option that you have to be thinking about. So, keep moving. It's probably an assault move. And then, it's probably another assault move. It's just so he doesn't get lucky. And, actually, he moved there and he probably popped smoke. I'm not sure why it was staggered. This guy goes boom. Now, he's just going to be out there to be adjacent. Again, draw fire. If he's drawing fire into this hex, it causes him to lose concealment, right? That's an easy unit to kill. Break. I don't care if he breaks. Where's he going? He's going over here. Or he's going to the leader when he moves there. All right. I don't care. Japanese units come back very quick. Break him. Okay. This guy over here. I moved him over here just like we discussed earlier. And guess what, for all you LOS aficionados? That's a clear line of sight. And I knew that, but I moved there anyway. I'm not sure why. Don't ask me. But that's a clear line of sight there. And that's open ground. That's a 4-2 shot. Know your LOSs. This is a very simple LOS. Again, maybe I was feeling out of it. I really didn't care. Maybe I just want to bait it. Again, it's a freaking whole stack. Don't do this. Definitely don't do this. Look what the hell's in there. I've got 55 units in there. If he gets a snake eyes on this, 4-2 snake eyes is 0. That's a 2 KIA. It destroys my entire plan over here, and I probably lose the game. This loses you the game. This move loses you the game. Not his snake eyes. Not his snake eyes. This stupid move here is what loses you the game. What did I say? Avoid the -2s? Well, I just handed one. That's probably Amazon delivery right there. With one of my better leaders and a stack load of units. Okay, Ikeda. Two elite units and I deployed these guys here. Why to deploy these guys? I'm prepping them for a bonsai to get multiple units out there. Is that the best choice? Maybe, maybe not, but it's my choice. So 4-2. Let's see what happens. He rolls a 4. No, an 8. I don't know. I'm not sure what he rolled. I think he rolled the 8. 6. One more. I'll check. Yeah, he must have rolled an 8. And of course, my half squads break. And that's it. My 7 morale units break. But guess what? They're going to be needing 8s to rally. And that's it for that. Let's try and speed this up a little bit. We got fire into that location. Again, the 458 fires. Loses concealment. Good for me. It's because once he loses concealment, he's not getting it back. He DMs that guy. Do I give a shit? Do I give a shit that that unit is broken? No. Why? He just lost the concealment for it. So I don't care that he fired upon me and broke me. Could he have been killed? Unlikely, but he could have been. Right? And I got a 127 killed somewhere. I don't know where he died. He must have died over here. So he's already got 1 victory point. There's the 1 victory point right there. I think from this stack on the left-hand side. Unfortunately, my scout's gone. I do steal his light machine gun, so thank you very much. Mortar's firing and where he should be firing. And I really need to adjust the magnifier on this thing. 180 is too close. I usually go 150. And 350, oh my god. Seriously? Anyway, mortar's popping out. I think his mortars do okay for the most part during the game. I'm not sure if the snipers really came into play. It may have been. I prep fire. My guys just kind of advance. Again, he gets DM'd. Does he surrender? Does this unit surrender? It's oh, God, I hate to back this up. Hold on. Does this unit here surrender? God, I hope that doesn't screw up the log because it's shit. DM adjacent to an enemy unit is going to be subject to interdiction from this 448 over here. Does this unit surrender? Was that a screw up? Nope. Gurkhas will not surrender during the route phase method. They will surrender in close combat or yeah, because route phase, I think even disrupted they don't surrender. But I don't think they disrupt. I can't remember right now. But anyway, he will not surrender. He will simply either low crawl or route. Can he route normally? Right? If this is a leader, he's got 7 morales because it's a house squad. You know, do you want to low crawl here? Or do you want to straight up route towards it? He'd be interdicted if he was there. So most likely he'll low crawl. Most of the time I say take the chance and get the hell out of Dodge. Because I'm just going to advance up and fire upon him anyway and get still victory point. But what that does is it forces another die roll out of me, right? Forces another dice roll. And that might pop a sniper. Or it gives the opponent another target to shoot at instead of the guys that are good order. So when this unit moves there, it's weird. Okay. So when he moves there, and my units advance up, that just gives him a target to fire at. Instead of one of these guys, I'm certainly going to fire at this guy. Why? Say, hey, Stu, he's a broken unit. Why are you firing broken units? You're just going to get a heated battle. What the hell are you doing? I'm getting a victory point. That's a victory point. Straight up. I need this to go up. Breaking and killing that unit gives me a victory point. I'll take the chance of a heated battle. I've got the same chance of this guy heating the battle and this guy heating the battle. This guy's just going to break. He won't score me a victory point. This guy will score me a victory point. It's as simple as that. Part of the victory conditions, gentlemen. Remember, you are looking to satisfy your victory conditions. Gaining victory points is doing that. All right? In other games, would you do that? If he didn't have a leader here, I would definitely not bother firing on him. He's going to be DM'd anyway because he's adjacent to me. He's adjacent to me. He's going to be DM'd. He'll stay DM'd. He's not going to rally. Right? So it would behoove me to break one of these guys. Because this guy's just going to route back in this building somewhere. Right? Or try to ignore it and go somewhere else. Hell, I don't know. This guy's out of the fight for now. Okay? But we're still looking for victory points. This guy got popped. The DM. That's the close combat phase. I'm just stacking units. No close combat. We are... Oh, he tried to deploy. Again. He's deploying this unit. Oh, 9-1. Handles right there. Badass. He's deploying a unit there. He's not deploying the LMG guy because he needs that 6 firepower, unfortunately. So he's deploying the bottom unit, or attempting to, and he's successful because he's got 8 morale. Why is he doing this? He loses concealment from this. This is huge. He's giving up his concealment, and I can just keep scrolling up. He's giving up his concealment to deploy. Why is he deploying these guys? I've got a shitload of guys right in front of him. You know, My guys are coming. These guys are going to get jiggy with it. You know? Maybe a shot over here. This is going to get hot and heavy. Well, since my opponent's not a dummy, he knows these guys are probably going to rally, right? And I've got 2 other units and a leader in LMG over here. And he's got one little squad, one little half squad over here. Probably going to bounce off the 8 and 9, off of 9 morale units, right? We got a 9-0. What are the morale of these units here when the 9-0 moves with these guys? They're also 9. So we have a 9 morale unit that can literally just walk. I don't even need a Bonsai. I can just walk down the road and say hello and then beat the shit out of this guy and take his mortar. And the other guys are going to be 8 morale. They can literally just walk down the road. Okay? So, most likely, he's probably going to deploy this guy and give this guy some help. What does that do for me? When these 2 half squads move over here to help, what does that do for me in the middle? It relieves pressure. He has a bunch of guys. I still have essentially 4 squads here. He'll have 2 squads. I've got him 2-1. You know, it might give me a tactical advantage in terms of just firing on these units. And hopefully, if again, as the Japanese, you will simply stripe. He will break. Once he breaks, he won't be able to rally, especially if his leader's broken, right? So he's much more precarious position if he breaks. So I can move forward, take a step reduction. I'm still going to have like 12 firepower point blank later on. If everybody gets striped and everybody's adjacent, 12 firepower plus 2. If he breaks, he's doomed. I take the building. I'll probably kill him, kill the leader. That's 4 points, and take the building for 3. That'll be 7 points, straight up. And I would have lost nothing at that point because I haven't actually gone down to a half squad. So I have to fail 2 morale checks for him to gain a point. He has to fail essentially 1 morale check, and then he's going to be in trouble. Anyway. He's mortaring that guy. That just looks weird. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. Again, there's a 248s. Here they come, up and around the corner to help out his buddy here, just in case what's going on. I think I failed a morale check here, and hopefully I reduced him. He's CX'd again. These guys just bugging out over here. I can't see him over there. Tree's too big. These guys are bugging out. This guy's bugging out. It's looking pretty good for me over here. I really don't have I got this about the same amount of force I have over here. And he's just retreating back into the buildings, which is okay. Again, skulking and then just getting back to the front. I can kind of deal with that. You know, not a big deal. And that's the half squad. He happened to rally the half squad at the beginning of the Japanese turn 3, I believe. Japanese turn 3. He rallied the unit. Good for him. He mouthed the LMG. Essentially lost. Essentially, that was an exchange of firepower. Instead of 8 firepower, he still has the same 6 he had before. But he doesn't have the rate of fire. And I smoked him here from my mortar. He's out of white phosphorus. But I did smoke him, though. I fired the white phosphorus probably the last round over here. And again, the white phosphorus, I think if you crit or something like that or whatever, it could possibly create a fire in a building. So this unit was very effective in dropping smoke. Essentially nullifies this unit here. Why is the smoke there instead of on top of this guy? Why did I fire smoke from here to there instead of there? This has more firepower. Well, because these guys are probably going to be moving in this direction. Remember I said this guy's got a 4 -2, 2 -2 out to here. These guys are CX, so they're going to be a 2 -1 on anybody that moves in the open. So then I have to decide, okay, do I want to start taking these heavy shots? These are all multiple shots. This guy's a nothing. He's not going to have any effect. But these guys, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1, 2 minus 2, or 2 minus 2 rather. That's a lot of 2 minuses. So it's like, I got to decide, do I want to bonsai, increase their morale? Do I just want to go into the orchard and then into the stream, orchard stream? You know, maybe. And then advance out and deal with the 4 even. Maybe. I can do that as a Japanese because why? Well, I could do that with a 448 because he'll step produce. These guys will break, but he'll step produce. But again, it keeps him busy. More of his force. He now has 1.5 squads over here. And I have 2.5 squads. So I'm a squad ahead of him on this side. Let's go through the Japanese turn some more. And here, I think we get a flame from somewhere. I don't know how we did, but we generated a flame from the white phosphorus shot on those units. He did roll a bunch of morale checks. It's really not going to do anything in the buildings because he gets a +2 modifier. So I didn't expect that he needed to roll 11s and 10s or 11s and 11s. Yeah. But I rolled another smoke unit here. So all these guys are smoked. He smoked. These guys smoked. That's smoked from this shot over here. And yeah, my mortars did their job. That's why you don't want to screw around and drop these Japanese mortars. 4 portage points, they do the job. Now I have 2 squads that can literally walk up and decide what to do later. Big smoke, and a white phosphorus over here. These guys advance up. This guy fires out. Probably not going to have any effect. And again, since one smoked over here, this guy just moves over. And, oh, here's the fun bonsai of the day. Here's the human wave. The target is, let me reduce this. The target's going to be this guy here. Right, and here's the bonsai with the leader, 2 237s and a 448 with the LMG. I would advise you guys to put this line down. You don't have to, but you're probably going to screw it up, especially on diagonals. This is now the hex row that you have to essentially move along. You don't have to move along it, but that's kind of like the guideline. So since I started on that particular hex row, if I move to here, if I move to this location, I will be then 1 hex away for what we call it, drifting or whatever they call it. And if these guys move here, they won't get a counter. And then if this guy moves here, he'll get like what is it called? Damn it. The range counter. So I can go here, get a range counter, go here, lose the range counter, go here, get a range counter, go here, stay there, go here, lose the range counter, gain the range counter, etc., etc. So the idea is this guy's smoked. His fire should be wholly ineffective. All these guys are smoked, wholly ineffective. I only have to worry about this guy. Highly likely that guy's a leader, because there's one here and all he has left are leaders. So this is a leader and this is a leader. Don't know who they are, but they can't fire. And this one's got smoke and he can't fire over that direction anyway. So I have 2 half squads screwed up with my bonsai attack here, which is going to be 8 or 9 morale. So let's roll through that. We go there first. Go their second impulse there for 3. Again, with the range counter down. And then we go, he gets a shot off, and of course he gets a snake eyes. I think somebody gets zapped. Snake eyes cowers on the, oh, that was the resolution, 2 even. I think it kind of bounces off of him. And this is, again, use these keep track of your movement factors. Very simple. Take this, copy it, Put it there, retitle it. Keep track of your movement factors. Pretty simple. Lovely. Lovely counter. Whoever designed that, thank you very much. Great, great, great counter. Continue moving. He then moves up to here. This guy continues down the line. And this guy goes one over. Say, Stu, you can't get that far. That's a bunch of bullshit. Nope. Here's the center line. Range. And I'm not increasing range at all, so I'm just going here. All right. So that's 4 movement factors. So it's, this must be 2. And then this going in here is also 2. So, and so here we are in the bonsais. The idea is what I wanted to do here is these guys, the leader, I wanted to move the leader on this side. This leader I wanted to pull over here to come and get in this vicinity, either there or most likely there by the end of the bonsai. Okay, and then we can then advance there and to the 9-1 into there. It's going to cancel my lack status in the bonsai or just be there, whatever. Or essentially, he just essentially bonsai to get across. The chicken just got across the road. But as with every good plan, shit happens. Let me squeeze this guy down. So we just spread out for just to gain more firepower because I can actually reach this guy up the first fire because now he's at range. He can go here and then possibly go here. I think if we can get the movement factors to go that way, because I think the leader now is going to be 6, 7, 8. He might not be able to make there, but he might be able to just go here. But anyway, we're going to try and move around these units. So what happens here? First fire, triple point blank fire. It's going to be a 6-2. And of course he rolls a 3 net. It's going to be a K2. This unit is gone. What happens then? What happens then? This is where you need to know your bonsai rules and your human wave rules. What happens now is, since this is the front, right? This is the front of these units. This is the side. This is the side. This is the side. Since nobody is in here at the beginning of the next impulse, one of these losers has to come into this hex. Which one is it going to be? Well, I sure want it to, I don't want it to be this guy, because that wasn't the plan. The plan was to move this guy further along, getting past and getting deep into the line and reinforcing the building until over here with all the smoke that I beautifully placed. And this guy, it's like, screw it. This guy, that's his job. Go there, jump into close combat. Because I can go to the side. But, unfortunately, this unit came from this location. You cannot go to here and then come over here because you are already moved adjacent to a location you had been to previously. This guy, on the other hand, trying to be sneaky, moved over here and then moved there. If he moves to this location into the 248, he's not moving to an adjacent location because he wasn't here. So because I actually did an end around, I screwed myself, and now these units are forced to go into the hex of that unit, which I'm not sure if we forgot the residual, but I think we get it down. I'm not sure. So that's what has to happen. My leader, which I didn't want to go in there, has to go into the hex of this little bastard because nobody's in there. And yeah, there's the residual. 4 residual. I'm looking at a 4-2 when I run in there. Yay! Not what I want to have happened. And unfortunately, he rolls an 11. So I'm good with that. And that's the done. It must be 1 + 1 MF to go up on the embankment railroad. Or elevator, whatever you want to call it. I think it's embankment. So, so that's 8. It's like, oh, shit. Now I'm only 3-2 on this guy. He final fires, and he DMs this guy. which guess what? He's going to be FTR because he's adjacent to everybody. So that's not good. Not a good spot to end up. Unless I kill these guys in close combat. Unless I kill these guys in close combat, that guy might be in trouble. So, oops. Sorry about that. So, take that off. And seeing that that's only a 3-2. And it's like, I don't want to get jacked by just rolling a 7, which would be good. Highway or Thway says, oh, we can get up there and we could jump into close combat and start busting some ass because he's not going to rally anyway. At this point, he's not DM'd. I have almost the same chance of self-rallying than I do with rallying. So it's like, get a victory point here or maybe never rally this guy. Again, it's a short scenario. We're on turn 3. You know, I need him up in 1 or 2 turns for him to actually make a difference. I didn't see that happening. My value at this point, I decided was going this way. So that's what I chose to do. My 137s decided to run, just simply run over here. Yes, the one that failed its rally check. So he's going over here to bait the shot, and not really sure if he takes the shot or not. And again, the other 137 runs right in the gully or the stream, and the 238 runs over here. It's like, okay, you throw half squads over there. Let's do a half squad battle, right? Let's just start. Essentially, by me moving these units over here, these units are now locked down. They have to stay in this vicinity and can't leave to reinforce. So I put a minor amount of force here to lock him down. Why? Why didn't I continue with my battle plan? Because all these units got smoked. I'm here. I can get to this giant stack of units with a 9-0 leader and jump somebody in a 3-to-1 ratio. What is this guy? That guy is, that might be 2-to-1. It'd be close to 2-to-1 over there in the big hacks. But that's got a flame in. I'm not sure if I want to go in. Oh, he's pinned. Yeah. I definitely want to go in there. So that's the idea, is swing to the right, get there, mortar fires, don't really care. He misses. A bunch of first fire over this side over here, don't really care. And then this guy, he final fires. And joy. Everybody gets pinned but the leader. These 9 morale units get pinned but the leader. Look at these fine dice bot rolls. Like 8. Maybe I screwed that up. Maybe they shouldn't have been pinned. The 11s certainly have pinned. The 9s, maybe not. Maybe the leader got pinned. Yeah, morale check. Yeah, the leader got pinned. And then, he may have still, I don't know if he gives him the bonus at that point. He still might. But anyway, if we screwed that up, so be it. Those guys get pinned. I wasn't going to send, oh, they're also 448s. Oh, yeah, he failed morale. Yeah, yay. Infantry fire table 12, nothing there. Is that a DM? Why is that a DM? Oh, I think about right here is where the log starts getting screwed up. So I actually get a result over here and DM this guy. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, I rolled a 3. No, not a 3, 5. It's probably normal morale check. I don't know. This guy breaks. And he has to route. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a line of sight to anybody over here, so he could actually route that direction. Otherwise, he'd be really screwed. Leader chooses to abandon the building and goes to the next nearest cover. He chose to go to this location, which is illegal. Actually, not quite legal. As soon as he hit X7, we check line of sight to that 238 over here on the side. And now it becomes a cleared line of sight. What he could have done is he couldn't have routed to there because, oh yeah, he can't see this guy. So if he had routed to here first, right, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He still couldn't have gone there. If he routed to here, he could go here and up, but he can't go here because that would be 5 hexes. This is 6 hexes away. So, and another benefit of putting a little flank on these units is, guess what? This is a leader. Now the leader can't get over here to rally this unit. So this unit will probably stay DM'd the rest of the game because I've got 2 or 3 units, like all they have to do is move adjacent to him. Right? So that's kind of the key. So that's a clear line of sight there. That was pretty close. This is definitely clear. So if X7 is not clear, W7 I know was going to be clear. And that's just getting closer to enemy unit. He can't interdict, so he has to continue moving on. And at this point, he goes up here. He chooses either one of these, which is fine. And there he is. Here's our close combat. I can't, I send my 9-0 end of 348 in here because his leader's gone. It's like, okay, I'll sacrifice 3 points to get 3 points. And he's pinned. So his firepower is reduced. I'm more likely to succeed in that attack than he is. So I roll a 5, he rolls a 6. I don't know if oh, everybody dies. Everybody dies in the location here. That's what that CC was about. And the support weapon is still good. In the location, he of course kills me. Maybe ambushes me and kills me. Anyway, that was not good. So I died over here, and now let's look at our victory point totals. He has 12 victory points to my 2. Yeah, I think this was pretty close to a breaking point in terms of just because again I started out kind of meh on the game state, my mental state of the game, and then just getting jacked on this bonsai charge here, getting jacked on this one here. I essentially have 1 leader in the game now and a whole bunch of squads. So my guys can't even break. If they break, I'm screwed. So I have 1 leader. He's pinned over here. For all intents and purposes, he's pinned over here. And he has more firepower that he can draw upon me. Right? My mortars are still functional. You know, against jungle guy, it's fine. Woods, nothing. 2 squads in the middle against 2.5. Not looking exciting. And this is about even fire over here. So it doesn't look good for the Japanese. And so I think we take a pause here. And that's exactly where we ended up. I think, what phase is this? Yeah, this is rally phase, British turn 3. I think we took a pause here for about 2.5 to 3 weeks because I was just about to just say, I'm good. You got it. I'm not going to worry about it. No more smoke in my mortars. No more white phosphorus in my mortars. I've got no more coverage fire. I lost my leaders in a stupid squad against a pinned unit and this other unit. That's the chance I had to take. That's a chance I took. You got to live with those chances. You have to live with those results. And it's simple as that. But now my back's up against the wall and I'm down 10 victory points. I literally have to kill all these units to make it even. Unlikely going to happen with, 2 1-2-7s and a couple squads. But we'll see what happens. All right, British turn 3. Let's see how the British player reacts. Mark reacts to this abomination of an attack that I'm performing. Remember, we got a mortar in the middle. He's lost a mortar over here. He's got a broken unit, 2 CX units that are going to be wholly ineffective until they lose their CX status. And he has 4 squads coming right in the middle. Neither of us have leaders, but the Japanese have the advantage right there in the middle, and the British have the advantage on the right-hand side. And his leader is gone back here, broken. It's imperative to try to keep that unit DM'd because we don't need that leader coming back and reinforcing these units, and because at that point we're really going to be in a world of hurt. It might be difficult for him to get back into this building. I don't think that was his plan anyway, simply because he routed outside the building, and I think that was probably the better move. He's just going to essentially retreat and give this building up. He's very strong again on this side over here, but we'll see how the game changes again as the game develops. Players begin to see things differently. You know, I've got a lot of smoke here in the middle remaining. White phosphorus and regular smoke. It's going to be dispersed at the end of this turn. A potential for flame to continue to go after it was created by the white phosphorus. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever occurred that. Maybe I probably just didn't remember the rule. Most likely. And again, he likely has a leader up here in BB. As a matter of fact, that is the leader in BB6. I think it's an 8-0. So he's really not doing anything up here except for possibly going to provide mobility for the mortar. So let's proceed through to British turn 3. We got some rally actions going on. I think one of the actions is me picking up the mortar on the left-hand side. We've got destruction of the LMG in the middle. That makes me happy. I don't think any support weapons survived in this game, to be honest. Picked up the mortar over there. That unit, I think he tried to self-rally him. Remains DM because he's adjacent. The 9 morale leader, I think it's a 9-2. No, it can't be a 9-2. 9-1. Still broken. No, nothing's on the top, so we're just going to restrict the view to this area here. We could probably zoom that in a little bit. That's a little bit better. So, fires mortar, just press fires it. I'm in the jungle. So actually -1. I should get +1. Should be an even one. I don't know. That's interesting. I should get +1 for the hedge. Consolidates his units back here. Loses CX status. Great use of smoke here. Use your smoke, people. Don't just walk out in the open. And then these guys just either dash or double times. And I think he bypassed V6 in this unit here. Clear LOS on the back side. I get a lucky roll. Again, the lesson for the day is you give him a -2. Don't expect good results. And that was unfortunate. That was almost the equivalent FUBAR or, you know, screwed up situation down here. N19, I gave him a -2. He could have easily rolled a 4, just like I rolled a 4. So zaps that unit. Again, makes me happy because guess what? Scores another victory point. I'm not sure where the fourth guy came from. I think this is an error. So it looks like I have 3 points. These are, I'm just separating these guys. And yeah, lots of, when you have more leaders dead than squads, you're in big trouble. Let me move those dice rolls over on that side. That way you don't have to worry. That way we keep track of our CVPs. Not be obstructed. All right. It does leave 1 residual, which won't really affect any other movement through there. He is first fired. These guys start retreating or skulking, most likely skulking. Mortar's got nothing to do but fire on that guy. Really don't have any good targets over here. Firing through the smoke is going to be prohibitive. Not really a lot of targets. Plus, it is a mortar. It is long range. Reach out and touch the one fire. So he is advanced fire. I really have a lot of defensive fire. I'm not going to bother firing this unit here. I'm not going to bother. I don't think I fired him straight through there. I may be mistaken. Maybe it zipped by too fast. But that's going to be a up 5, an 8 up 5. You know, because I don't have any leaders, having units either pinned or step reduced, especially over here on the side, again, look what we have here. We got a Japanese unit. I've got to do something with this guy. You know, where's he going to route? Where's this unit going to route to? You know, he's stuck in the middle of nowhere. All right, so where are we? Oh, route phase. All right, so here's the interesting route for you, gentlemen. Yes, interesting route. So Mark's got to route his unit here. Let's back this up a little bit. Hopefully it won't screw up. We've got the closest cover to this unit here is a building right here. 2 movement factors. He can't see me from this way. No LOS. I don't think he can see. Again, that's another reason why this shit's way too big. It blocks terrain. I don't even know if that was open ground. So he can't see this unit down here either. So he can't see any of the Japanese units, the few that I have remaining. So he has to go back to this building here. So he can continue to route at that point. He has to go here for 2. He can go 4 if he wishes. Or 2, 4, 6. He could do any number of different types of routes. In this sort of instance, you might try to do like a strategic route where you might want to route to this location to prevent some of these units. Like say if his plan was to just drop back this way, put a broken unit here or here to stop these units from coming this direction and getting to this position here. If I have to stop outside of these locations and then this unit has to route this way or that way, and then I advance into here, it stops the advance going to this direction. So it delays the Japanese player by a turn. So that's just something to consider. Again, it's based upon your plan, knowing where to route, what you want that routing unit to do, and what your expectations are. So here we go. Let's go with, we're going to continue routing that unit. 2-4 just goes there. Pretty simple. The only other broken unit, I believe, the only DM'd unit is mine. So right here, I say, Stu, where the hell are you going? Starting here, where's the closest cover? Well, the closest cover is here and here at 3 movement factors. Problem is, it's close to this unit. So we can't select any of these X's. All right, let me drop this guy down. I can't see shit. So here's our broken unit. Can't select those hexes at all. Hey, Stu, what about across the stream? Well, that's 3, and that's 5. And that means these guys are 7, so we'd only have to select these units. So the nearest close cover there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So neither of those are in range. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So R4 is the closest. Your route must be going towards R4. And because I'm in open ground, in normal range of an enemy unit, he must route or be eliminated for failure to route. It's as simple as that. But if this unit wasn't there and nobody else was in LOS, I could just stay right there and have a picnic. So that's where I'm going there. I took a morale check for interdiction. I think that was a pin. Hopefully we get a pin on that. Yeah, that was a pin. He stopped. You don't need to put a pin. Well, I guess there's a pin marker on him. Not really necessary, to be honest with you. Unless there was a I guess you would. No, there's no pin. You actually don't pin the unit. The unit just stops moving. He's not subject to pin penalties. He just doesn't move. And then he advances the 2 non-CX units. He just skulked in the back going forward. So that's it for that. Other advances that we could find. Just some concealment gains. just skulking backwards here, kind of maybe avoiding the flame. And then we've got a rally. I think he had repair, pickup, or something like that. I'm not sure what. But what was that roll? Self-rally is an 8. I think I was self-rallying this unit here. Again, that's about the only broken unit other than this guy. Maybe I was rallying that way. I don't know. Because now he still has to route, right? But he's subject to, guess what? Elimination, because it's a half squad. You'd want to fire upon this guy before he routes away. Right? You'd want to fire upon him. Now, this guy's in a world of hurt. Right? This guy right here. It's Japanese player turn right now. If this were the route phase, what would be the fate of that unit? God damn it. Stupid map thing. What would be the fate of that unit? Could he route? Where could he route to? Etc., etc. What is the fate of this unit? Well, now he has line of sight to the 248 here. So he can't route that direction. Certainly can't route the T8, T7. Any routing south, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wherever he wants to route. So he could literally choose any location over here. Unfortunately, both this location and this location are interdictable. And this location is as well interdictable because he has a range of 4. So those are probably going to be out. We've got, again, maybe R4 maintains our route direction, right? Problem is we have to try to get there. Well, we can't route there, so it means we have to route here. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the problem with that? I don't see a problem with that, Stu. Well, there is a problem. This unit interdicts him here. So, can't do that. So, can we low crawl here? Can't low crawl because you're only low crawling or being interdicted as you route away. You have no other destination to go to. This unit will essentially be surrendering or eliminated. Not sure if the Japanese surrender via the route phase method. Let me go check that out. Right. So they will not surrender via the route phase method either. So he could take all the interdiction that he wants. He's just like the British in this one here. No one will surrender via the route phase. All broken Japanese units must route away and take interdiction if necessary. So at that point, he could low crawl. That gets me jack shit. But we'll get to that. So knowing that you can low crawl can dictate what your firing actions are. Like say if this were a full squad or somebody very important, you might want to try and break this unit so then he could route without being interdicted in R5. But since he has to route away, I really don't need to fire upon that unit. But he only has a 7 morale, right? 7 morale. I got pinned last time. I have to roll a 6 to get through R5 to get back there and be done with it. So that's not exceedingly going to happen. It's a possibility, but don't rely upon it. So we got some other rallies going. I think that was the leader. That was the big leader rolling that 10. So he doesn't even rally, which gives me an open window. Flame, I think the white phosphorus flips. I think we forgot to flip these last turn. Maybe you guys probably were paying attention to that. I'm prep firing my mortar, my new captured mortar, with all its well-founded +2 to hit. Don't really care. And I drop a smoke right on top of the unit. So that is tremendous. That is huge. I try to attack something else with the 10, and I think it malfunctions the weapon. So I do get smoke out of it, which is absolutely fantastic. So it doesn't have a smoke on the backside. Interesting. Does it have info? Yeah, there it goes. So it malfunctions the weapon. Did I roll 10? I should have destroyed it. No, 10 would have malfunctioned it. So we smoked him here, which is great, because guess what? That's going to be there a couple turns, and we can move into this hex without being affected by this guy. And this guy might have an LOS, but if he's firing on him, he's not going to fire on us when we come into here. Or we move into here first, he first fires, and now these guys are free from any type of -2 shot. This guy's going to be a +3. So essentially, we just put up a stone building for these units on this right-hand side, left-hand side. These guys now have the stone building protection. So this 238 has options. And you could probably see what I'm going to do. Right now, what do you think you would do with this 238 at the end of the prep fire phase? We got some other preps going on. I think we're, God, these giant fucking counters. Lots of 9s and 10s and beautiful just garbage rolls. So now we go straight to the movement phase. Moving units up. You know, the mortar doesn't, I move 2 units up just so we can advance in, because we can't, that's way too much, you know, smoke in there and the whole 9 yards. So we've prep fired these guys here. The best part of this game here is it's going to go a little faster because I don't have any units left. I literally have like 2 or 3 units in the middle, 2 or 3 units on the right-hand side, 2 or 3 units on the left-hand side. He's about the same way. He's got 2 units here and 2 broken units. He's got two guys in the middle and a couple guys over here. So the forces are dwindling actually rather fast. Unfortunately, mine are dwindling faster. Jesus, 3.5 squads. So we'll put the CVPs there. So this unit is going to move and just follow where he moves. I get some free DM. Oh, I'll move the LMG first. And that causes that unit to first fire. I don't care if he stripes me or not. Oh, I think this guy advanced in the street. This is where the log file was kind of screwed up. These guys get really jacked up here, so bear with me on these counters. So they both first fire there. He's coming out of smoke. It's going to be +4. He's essentially going to be immune to all fire, to be honest. DMs that unit by moving adjacent. And that guy's not DM yet. Why is he not DM'd? Because I've got a guy here, right in the middle. His objective by moving here is not to deal with these guys. It's to DM that leader. That's it. Fire the LMG on the leader. Maybe fire the squad here. Fire the LMG on the leader. 1+1. Or actually a half +1, the advanced fire phase. We're going to have to fire the squad over there. So that's unfortunate because, you know, breaking this guy right here would be beneficial. But keeping this leader here DM'd, far more valuable. Far more valuable. All right, so unit comes here. Guess what? What are the victory conditions? Possibly kill 1 unit or go back and score 3 victory points back here. If I advance into that building, I get 3 victory points at game end. And what it does is it forces his units to counterattack at that building because these guys didn't get back there quick enough. If that was their objective, right? If that was their objective. Didn't quite get back there quick enough. But I have to take advantage of that. He's just a half squad. But what's coming on? What's on the OB? Right? This isn't quite the guys coming on. He's got a squad, a leader, and two firepower, essentially truck armor cars. Not really a lot of firepower. Can I break and die? Absolutely. But I got to take the building. That's his job. That's the objective. All right, continue moving. Move over here. Bait this fire from this guy. He zaps me with a 4. Again, -2 shots, right? I think I'm the only one to dodge it over in this hex over here. I get over here to try and bait the fire. He does take the shot. 1 -2. Maybe I should just stayed around him. I don't know. I was just hoping to be broken so I could move around him. Lost a half squad. Lost a point. All right. Lost a point. Move another unit beyond. He could subsequent first fire at 1. He chooses not to. And I get behind him. Where's this guy going? Stu, you're missing the point. Where the hell are you going? Well, this one firepower unit with the LMG isn't going to take this building. What does it? What can he take? He could pressure, try and come this way, because he only has a squad there, or a leader there, and a 248 unit right here. Not a lot of firepower. I can probably deal with that. Or he can use his movement factor bonuses and make it back over here. Why? Because I know his reinforcements have to come into here to deal with this unit. So most likely, this is now a lower priority target. This is unlikely going to occur, but it's threatened. He only has a leader. I could kill him in close combat, and it's a leader, and 3 points. So that would be a 4-point swing if I kill that leader in that building and he doesn't retreat. 4-point swing. Moving into this direction here. Right? Moving that direction gets nothing. He just blows me away with his massive firepower. I'm not going there. Shit, he's got like 4.5 squads. That's not going to happen. So, I'll do an end around there. Let's see what happens. Continue moving. Maybe. We got attempted smoke. Rolls a 3. We're going across anyway. I think I could dash. Of course, he gets pinned. Since he final fired, we're going to say, screw it. He's final fired. He's got to take a morale check when I enter his location. So we bonsai him. We bonsai him with the lower morale unit. And this unit goes over here. He pins. If I did not use the 8 morale unit to go there, he would have been broken. So now we got Ichikawa and the 9-1 leader jam in that direction with the bonsai. Let's see what happens. Oh, he final protective fires and rolls that wonderful 12. So this guy takes a K and is eliminated. Again, the problem I have, just very similar to this one over here, he eliminated my unit, so it forced me to go in that direction. My bonsai unit still has to bonsai. So he's got to go this way. He has to enter the target hex, or next to it. I was debating about going this way, taking a 2-2 shot. It's like, I really don't have a lot of units, and where am I going? If I go here and go this way, he's got to still bust ass. He's got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or just in this general vicinity, right? He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. He can't lose enough movement factors. So it's like, I got some guys in the building. He lost a unit. I have 8 morale and 10 morale. Let's see what happens. So this is a deciding point, a juncture that you would need to understand that what do I need to do? I just simply wanted to get into close combat with the 248 and kill him. So my initial objective was to get in the building anyway. I really didn't want to go over here because now this unit and I get all types of fire upon me. That's kind of what I wanted to avoid. Fire into here is fine. I wanted him to take a free morale check because I'm not going to get a morale check on him with a 4 firepower. I'm not going to bother. And that puts him in a world of hurt. Again, if I'm over here, he can't route this direction if I broke him. He can only go this way. Right? So, anywho, let's continue. Continue the bonsai. Again, I put the arrow down because it's like, oh shit, now what I gotta do? So he actually fires upon me. If he didn't fire upon me, I could then continue if he didn't fire upon me and become known, I could then continue to essentially bypass that concealed unit and continue moving. So, by moving in that location, did it force him to come on, lose concealment? Not really. I mean, he's got a 16 firepower even shot on me. That's not terrible. He could possibly kill that unit. This unit here's pinned. He's done moving. I've got nobody else to move over in that direction. Take the shot. And guess what? 2 movement factors, 2 shots. So let's continue. So you keep track of the movement factors here. He blasts them for a 5. Takes some morale checks. And I passed 7, 8, 9. That may have been, but I think it was probably a 2 morale check. I don't pin because I'm bonsaiing. And so guess what? I get to go in his location. What is occurring at this location now? Let's assume we end the turn right here. Actually, we're just gonna we'll come back to this. We'll just come back to that at the appropriate time. All right, CVPs, units here. Okay, so look, that actually doesn't look that bad right now. I'm in the middle of his units. If I happen to eliminate these guys, this whole building becomes mine. Right, and he has to counterattack with 1 squad. This is a leader. This is a half squad coming across that could be putting pressure on. And this unit can then reinforce into whatever happens. If I get lucky right here. But we'll come back to that. Again, this is after I was ready to just absolutely throw in a towel. This is a 2.5, 3.5, maybe month break between the game. He final fires. I mean, he's got firepower. There's nothing wrong with his firepower. So I have to fire upon his unit up there. DM him. My unit has to route here because he's adjacent to an enemy, known enemy unit. And he simply just goes up to R4 and continues. All right? No interdiction because this guy's in smoke. This guy's broken. So he gets up there. Now, guess what? What turn is it? Japanese turn 4. It'll be British turn 5. And then I get the self-rally unit. Guess who I'm going to self-rally? Most likely this guy. He'll need a 7. Now I have 2 half squads up in this area. 100% those guys have to be coming this direction. Almost 100% of the time, those have to be coming right here to reinforce. So now I know essentially where his reinforcements are coming on. Okay, let's get back to the close combat phase. Might be interesting. So I'm just moving units up, advancing. He advances over here on the roadway. Again, I advance on the roadway. What does that give me? I'm advancing right here. It's a fire lane. These guys want to come over, help out, or if he wants to go this way, I could shoot him fire lane. That's the whole reason why that guy moved there. He's going to set up a fire lane right there. Breakdown 11, don't care. No leader. Cowering, don't care. Doesn't matter. 1 in 6 cowering. Doesn't matter. His objective is to put down a fire lane. And that's the whole plan. Again, this unit's still broken here. Still viable. Obviously not priority. Your priority is this guy over here. That's a 3. This guy's a 5, but that's a half squad. That's a 1 factor unit. And I really don't need him right now. So low priority. Luckily, I only have 2 broken units. With the Japanese, you'll kind of run into that. And now we get into the control markers. So I occupy the building, control the entire building. And we get into close combat over here. Unfortunately, he has a 3-2 on me with probably a -2. I have a 1-2, probably 1-4 -2. And I think he gets the better of me. Oh no. 1-4 -2. It looks like a double elimination. What'd I roll? 8. Oh, that was Mark's roll. Sorry, my bad. Mark's roll was 8, which is going to be a 3-2 minus. 3-2 -2 should have been a CR. Maybe we thought it was 2-1. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, my 1-4 Oh, hand to hand. Duh. It's hand to hand. That's why. So 3 to 2, 8 minus 2. He needs a 10 for CR. I'm a 1 to 4. I need a 5 for CR. I rolled a 5. I was minus 2. Makes it a 3. He's gone. He rolls an 8. He needs a 9 for complete elimination. I'm gone. But I lost a leader and a squad. 4 units. 4 points. He lost a leader, 2 squads, 6 points. I just gained 2 points on him. So instead of the 12 to 2 difference in victory points, this is that perfect example that I was talking to in the analysis. I was attacking in a worse row, but because it's hand to hand, if you get that roll, it's not a terrible roll, you'll come out ahead. I happen to come out ahead, and that's what I saw. It's like I could either go in there close combat, maybe I was lax, I don't know, maybe I charged him in, but you know, it went my way. Now we have 1 squad to 1 squad, and what else do we have? 1 firepower to no firepower. He has 2, so he now probably has to come this way to prevent this from happening. And he obviously has to go into the building. Unfortunately, this guy was pinned. Otherwise, if I was right here, this would then become my building at the end of the close combat phase. Unfortunately, he just moves back into it, I think, and reoccupies it. So, we'll see what happens with that. Again, fortuitous for the Japanese. I'm only 7 points behind. And I don't think we've counted the buildings yet, because he's way ahead on building points. So I think these guys have already moved. Again, the DMs come off. He tries to self-rally unit, and then self-rallies leader. Can't repair the gun. Just as a general prep fire. The nasty acquisition. Morale check. That's this guy here. Pretty sure it's that guy there. Maybe not. This unit, I believe, moved over here. This unit, I believe, moved right here. Or maybe assault moved. This is where the log might get screwed up a little bit. And I tried to fix it, but it didn't really want to work. And it had multiple yeah, so he's gone right now. This unit is gone. He's either right here or right here. So let's put him right there. He ends up here, at least in the advanced fire phase. He might have assault moved. So he's got smoke there. He may have just moved there directly, but he could just assault move in advanced phase. And this unit here, he moves here. That's why the residual comes down without anything being there. So after that, I think it'll pick it up. Again, another reason why I moved this guy here. Advance him closer. Guess what? Line of sight. Hit him with that. Hit him with the mortar. Did I hit him? Missed him the first time. Hit him the second time. And then that will DM him if you hit him with the mortar. So clear that garbage out. Oh, it's cleared. All right. So big bonus having that mortar taking that shot here. That's huge, because now these units can fire over here and not have to worry about that unit being DM'd. Because where does this you guys DM now, where does he want to go? He'll have to go back here if he wants to route. He doesn't want to route that direction, but that's the only way he can route, because that's 2. I'm not a known enemy unit. So he has to ignore this guy. So he's essentially, if he wants to route, he has to stay within this copse of buildings and such, unless he can ignore them. And I don't think he can. And so that's a big problem. That's a big problem for that unit there. And if I could, if I advance, what the idea was, I was trying to get up to here and then advance into close combat and blitz him from there. But that's kind of tough to do because I need to keep DMing him. I need to keep DMing him. And if he DMs, he just runs away. So, morale check on Mar. I got to hit a 12. Oh, the same unit, malfunction this weapon here. Again, I don't think any weapon comes out of this game alive. He advanced fire. He was right here. Now I think he advances into here. Assault moves or just advances there. Now the mortar's useless, but that's okay. He doesn't need the mortar. He just needs to save that building. Broken unit piles up there. Or he just stays there. The unit just advances away from him, gains concealment. This unit, rally, 9. Still hasn't rallied. Why? Right? If I didn't break this unit, he would have rallied right now. Self-rally, in terrain, 9. DM him, doesn't rally. Keeps this guy broken right here. Keeps this guy broken. Hold on, let me fix my keyboard. This guy right there. He stays broken. Why? No leader. Can't get his leader there. He's got 1 leader left. That's it. This guy's undone. This guy really can't go anywhere now. So we are essentially without leaders in this game. So I've got 3 squads now in the center. I'm starting having a little bit bigger strength in the middle. I op-fire this guy just to see what can happen. He just moves in. This guy just moves into the smoke. Is he going to have any offensive capability? He's in the smoke. It's +3, +2. I think it's +2 by now. DM's the unit. That's all I need to do. DM the unit. He has to route. Where's he going? Is he going that way? Is he going this way? Don't know. Don't know. Right? He could go this way. He knows it's in dire straits. This way's not much better. Right? Because I could just advance up, grab the LMG. Now I could fire the LMG over there. Or these guys could fire up there. So this guy's not in a good spot. But he could route possibly to there. But he has to move. DM him, has to move. So he doesn't roll 7 to rally him. That's all it is. Keep the broken units down. We'll eventually surround him. The map's getting smaller. You know, he's got 4, 6 firepower. I've got 8 morale. 6 + 2 favors me. Just like it was over here on the right-hand side. I didn't have a lot of firepower. We have to bonsai his ass. He breaks. 2 guys take his place. Doesn't really do me any good. Now I kind of have that advantage over on that part of the board. And I did up-fire those units. Of course, I get my morale check with the 12 on this unit. Rolls a 12 on the final fire shot. Good roll, just an average roll. 12 comes up, you pay the piper. It's as simple as that. Now, that screws me completely from this side. Now I have a 137 here. And a broken half squad here. And it's getting late into the game. This building is pretty much locked up to his now. Pretty much locked up. So it's like, oh, shit. This guy breaks. I don't even know if fire. Oh, this guy fires on him. Shoots at me. Breaks. I'm a +1. Who cares? Rolls a 5, 6, whatever. Morale check. You roll high enough, you break. Now I have nothing over here. Literally nothing. Let's continue. DM the leader. Gotta DM the leader. I think I fire over here as well. We route. And that's about all we can do is that. We could see this unit. We could ignore this. But I didn't want him to come down here and just start killing our units. So I kind of wanted to delay him a little bit. Or keep him close. Threaten him. I don't know. Or maybe I just screwed up the route. Rally phase. Or advance phase. Advances in close combat here. Stu, what are you doing? What are you doing, Stu? 1 to 2 odds. 1 to 2 odds, Stu. You're an idiot. Well, never said he didn't, but you can get lucky twice. This unit here, it's got a DM unit in there. If we remain in close combat, that unit will remain DM'd. Then he'll have to route. At that point, this unit over here, if he reveals himself, that guy just dies. Spread this unit out. Spread your force out here. 8 morale. If they break, if anybody up here breaks, who cares? They stripe. We're still good order. We're still going to fire upon this hex with probably at least 12 firepower. If this unit breaks here, both units are gone. That's 3 more victory points. And these guys are just half squads. If I get lucky here in half squadville, 1 to 2 minus. He doesn't get a -1 because he's second line. That's a 6. I need a 6 for a casualty reduction. He needs a 2 to 1. He needs a 10, just like we were talking about in strategy. I'll take a 6. That's an even exchange. Essentially, I just DM'd him. You know, he has to route. This guy has to route before this unit gets eliminated. He needs to route. Not gonna happen. He can route here, but when I drop concealment first, he can't route at all. Gotta get him, gotta surround him. I think that was ambush. I roll snake eyes on this guy here. We don't get leader creation on that. Hopefully we didn't roll leader. And I just exfiltrate back out to here. Why? Because I don't want this guy coming over. Now he has to move and go over. I get back into cover. Not going to get shot by like a 4+2. You know, I can possibly move on my merry way down there. Cover the road if he's coming in. And so on and so forth. So I got lucky with the snake eyes. Kill him. Get a victory point. Stu, you're getting lucky on the dice. Well, I rolled a 12 over in DD8, didn't I? Again, dice bot wants it to be 7. So advances. I can advance out in the open. +2 from this guy. This is a +2 shot. That's an even shot. Are you going to take it 8 even or 4 even? The 8 even's probably a better shot, but I still going to have 6 firepower coming back. So it's 6 + 8 is 14. And I could possibly prepare this weapon. Might have a 16 shot coming back. We'll see what happens. That guy's got a... he had to have routed. I'm not sure why that guy's still there. Oh, that was close combat phase. Oh, right. He routed and I advanced there. So, but yeah, next turn he'll get eliminated. All those guys are DM'd. He moves down here, DMs these units. I think he moved down here and then moved back up. DMs both these units, just like I'm doing to him. DM all these guys. 458 runs back. I think that's a clear shot. I don't think that anything really happens over there. And look what comes on here. Looky what shows up. He moves them on here. Over here again, takes the building back. I moved out of the building. I actually moved out of the building on purpose to force him to come there. Now he has to come here with infantry. He could have driven a truck up, jumped out, and advanced in with a house squad. Didn't want to do that, so he does this. Not a problem. Plus, this machine gun has line of sight to there. Talk to me about this unit here. If I move my units this way, is that a problem? Bow machine gun. If he's hulled down, he can't fire. Can't fire through it. So, my guys are looking pretty good in their advancements over here. So that's the concept. And this guy here has a line of sight to that unit. I think he's got line of sight. What phase are we at? We're at the route phase. Well, British route phase. I'll get those guys on the screen. Did I roll that unit yet? Nothing yet. British route phase. LOS to him. He can't go up. He can't go up that direction. He can't go this way. Can't go that way. FTR, baby. I think he declared no quarter. I think it's no quarter. But either way, he dies. Victory point. I'm still at 8 points behind. This unit, where's he going to go? Where's he going to route? You tell me where that unit's going to route. Nope. Nope. 5 movement factors. 4 movement factors. Destination. Remember, he will not surrender via the route phase message. Takes 2 interdiction checks. Piece of cake. Nut up, people. 9 morale. You're not going to fail that. He nuts up, runs the whole way back there. I said, damn. At least I got him to roll 2 dice. At least I got him to roll 2 dice. That's all you can hope for. So advances, close combat with concealment. Again, I already got the house squad. That's just going to be a wash. He'll maintain control of the building. No big deal. This guy just secures the building over there. We got some dice rolls going. I think he smokes me in close combat here. He does not ambush me, even though he's got the -2 or -3. What did he roll? He rolled a 4. I rolled an 8. I think that will eliminate me, and he will clear me out of the building. And he gets another point. These guys do a little dance over here. My 127 still on the flank. I'm not sure what the hell that is. That's probably the leader over there. Don't know what that is. One of these guys is dead for some reason. Oh. And there's the rally. The rally of the century. So perseverance pays off for this 127. Been broken since God knows when. Anyhow, he's actually going to play a fairly pivotal role in the remainder of the game. Because if I intend to send these units this way to secure this building, I have to leave this one behind. Well, what that does is allow this unit to come this way, or this unit to come this way, or this unit to come this way. Now, not that the 127 is a powerhouse of firepower, but A, he could take up a spot so you can't move there to force you to go into another spot where another unit, say this unit moves over here, could then fire back on that unit instead of getting out of LOS going this way. And, 1 - 2, we've already seen what that can do to a unit. 2 - 2, it eliminates units. It's as pure as simple as that. Give yourself an opportunity to win the game. I'm moving him up here. I don't even think I want to move him into the building. I was debating on moving him into the building, because if this unit could go directly into the building, I'm dead. And these guys, of course, are over here. That's the whole adage. If he goes into the building, I'm dead. And a 1 - 2 I can't rely on. So, but he did come back. I'm very happy about that. We'll go. Let's take a look at where the status of the game is right now. It is turn 6, Japanese. The Brits have won again. Keep in mind, victory conditions, unit locations, etc., etc. It is turn 6. The British have 1 more turn remaining. Who can get to this building? If we leave this building, who can get to it? Well, the players that I said before. This guy, leader. I don't think this is there. So one of those is gone. I'm just gonna, to be honest, just get rid of it. I think the leader's I think he's under here. So we're gonna put him there. That's a leader. He can't control the building. Don't care. I can vacate the building, the leader come back and take it. Don't care. This unit could honestly... He could possibly go this way, bounce this way, and go here. CXing, DM this unit. I've got one more turn after this. Won't be able to rally him. He'll need a 1 to rally. He has 5 morale. 1 to rally, and we got a 248 that's covering this way in case the 127 comes backwards. All right. So that's what we're looking about there. Take a look at these guys higher up. What's about the top part of the map? What's the situation going on here? Again, these 447s and 448s can go a number of ways. We can ignore this building on the left-hand side. It's only 2 victory points. This one's 2 victory points. And we only have to go through 2 firepower and 4 firepower. We can do that because why? We're Japanese. We can literally go into X5. Unlikely it's going to fire upon us. Go into Y5, fail morale check. Go into Z4, fail morale check. Be a half squad, go into the building and take 2 points. We'll lose 1 point to gain 2. And then, once we're in the building, close combat. So, that is a viable path. Because we're Japanese units, we can make it. Now, the 458, on the other hand, he has to withstand 4 firepower. If he fails any one of those morale checks, he stops. Not so with the Japanese. Again, we don't have any leaders over here. Or on the other side of the top guys. No leaders. Right? These guys here are my supermen. They can come this direction. They may push this direction. Engage these guys in close combat. Why would I go over here versus just over here? Maybe in addition to. Well, you've got 2 points for the buildings, and you've got 3 points in the building. He's worth 2. He's worth 1. That's, what's that? 5 points. What are the Japanese looking at? 5 points brings me to 17. Right? Well, and then this point will give me 3 more. Well, we got to take balance. I think we're looking at the balance right now. He's still well ahead in buildings. So he's got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got 3. So he's up 11. Do you see anything else that might make a difference in this map of 11 points? Anything at all? How about all 3 of those units? Minimal firepower. 2 points here. 5 points. 5 points. And again, Doug points out that, a little note on these 2 units here. Doug points out that if you want to take the bow machine gun, which would be the main armament out of this vehicle, you'd have to abandon the vehicle instead of just unload, and therefore take all your movement factors to get the hell out. And I think your TI, I'm not sure. I don't abandon very many vehicles at all because it's kind of a troll move. But he could just jump out and go into here, and guess what? That's 2 victory points out. So that would only be worth 3. And if he did the same with this one, that would only be worth 3. So that'd only be 6 points instead of 10 points. Leader, 2 point standard, right? So one other interesting note, historically, these tanks don't exist in this year or in this time period. I think the scenario is what? I've got it right here. Scenario is February of 1942. According to Chapter H, those don't show up until November in 9 more months. So these may have been substituted out for other vehicles in terms of like its movement type for being a truck versus a fully tracked vehicle. So that's the difference there. And again, this is the point where let's zoom out a little bit, where we were talking about in the beginning. This is our situation right now. Where are my Japanese units? For those guys that didn't read watch the strategy, we missed out. He could move this guy here and just kind of go down this direction. Right? I don't think he can quite get that far, but if turn one he went to here or here and just point that direction, That would be pretty cool. He didn't want to do that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. That's just basic choices. There's no difference in strategy in there. But I'm just in terms of the hip scenario special rule being canceled down in this area by itself. Again, he can go there. Now, guess what? There's no Japanese units down here. And this is exactly how the game developed. He could send both those tanks down there. Again, stupid, right? Stupid part of the scenario. But where are my units? I got a 1, 2, 7. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't even get to them. This guy's broken. So he saves 10 points if he just drives them away. Not a big fan. I sure hope that wasn't part of the design. I sure hope. But right here, we're looking at, let me zoom in a little bit now. That was just the general plan of essentially covering exactly where the guns are or the vehicles are. And here's where the scenario is now. So what do we got going on here? Now, since he's parked his vehicles there, I get excited. Because now I've got an anti-tank weapon in my light machine gun because he has 1 armor. And guess what? I move 1.5 through the roads. So I can get here with 6 and advance here or advance here. 1.5, 3, 6, advance. And I've got a shot on that unit in the British turn. So I've got a potential anti-tank shot on that unit, and that would be 1 armor. And being a light machine gun within 6 hexes, those would cancel. I would need a 4. 4 for an effect. So better than nothing. Better than nothing. And that's 5 points if I get lucky. But that's what the LMGs can be used for. Anti-tank weapons. All right. So I just want to comment on the trucks or these carriers in terms of what they can do. I believe I have a line of sight to this unit here. Another thing that I thought of and screwed it up, but the first one can be used are our tank hunting heroes, and you'll see those guys pop out this turn. I'm in line of sight to this unit here. That's a clear line of sight. So I can try to roll for a tank hunting hero, and he's going to try to charge that unit. He'll bonsai, right? And so the bonsai row will be like this. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So moving the unit up there. Again, he's closing the gap, stopping any potential units from the right-hand side of the top of getting over there for free. There's my LOS check on the top. There's my die roll for the superhero, Superman jumping out. And I need a 1 or 2, I believe. Again, I don't play tank hunting heroes much at all. So I was reading rules before the game. I was reading rules before the break. I was reading rules during this time period. We kind of stepped through the tank hunting heroes to see exactly what it needed to do. I hope that we didn't screw it up. But I don't play them all the time. And so you just got to read them. They're like, it's quite an extensive rules area, but most of it doesn't apply. Just based upon the conditions that we were in. And now he's got to essentially bonsai charge. So there's our bonsai row. There's our hex row that we need to include our target in. And so guess what? We move over here and we get a hex grain. So we don't have to run straight down and get annihilated at 8 minus 2, 4 minus 2. And then somebody else could fire there, possibly. And then we just charge at him. So, and we bypass. We go 1, 2. He fires. It's a 4 minus 2. Hell of a roll. 3. And 3 is a 1 morale check, I believe, on the 4 chart. Double check. 3 is a 2 morale check. Roll 7. He does not pin because he's a hero and he's bonsaiing. So regardless, no pin. Fire goes again. He's probably going to fire again. 2 minus 2. Is that a K1? Is that a K1? Is that a K1? Or 2 minus 1? I'm not sure. Maybe we missed it. Did we miss something there? Two minus 2. Maybe I entered the hex. I don't know. It's possible I entered the hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's possible I entered the hex. There's no point in bypassing those hexes because I've got 8 movement factors. Maybe those were in hex moves. That would negate the first fire movement in the open. Regardless, we were watching it, and that's probably what happened. The counter is probably in the wrong spot. There's no need to bypass these hexes. So anyway, we're still heading to our target, and he turns and fires, no effect because he's got the +3, and then I jump on top of him. Immediately do a close combat, and ends up immobilizing the unit, which is cool, which means he can't run away, which means I could try to get another guy there instead of having him run that guy away. All right. So, and based upon the Japanese rules and based upon the number of guys I have and the year and the whole 9 yards, technically I could 10% fractions rounded, 10% of your allotted squads. And I think it said Japanese squads. Let me check. Yeah, it specifically states the total number of tank hunting heroes allowed per scenario may not exceed 10% of the number of Japanese squads only in the OB prior to 43. I have 10 squads, but I have 11 squads equivalent. It does not say squad equivalents here. So you take it by what it says, 10 squads. So I had one tank hunting hero goes here. I do create another one later, but I believe the effect is null. And so this guy runs up this way. Somebody fires upon me. I'm not sure who. And then this guy, oh, that's not, it's the bypass. So it's a 1 even bypass. Now he bypasses here. I'm not sure why that went down. And then he ends up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he can engage in close combat. He's first fired. He can't intensify. He might be able to intensify the gun. I think he did so. And he simply gets a morale check, and I pass the morale check. It's about that. So let's back up to the other units. Those guys are moved. Now this guy comes up the backside. I don't quite move him up that far. I don't quite. Now you have to take into consideration where this guy is. I don't quite move him up that far. These units simply move up. He tries to go up that way. I'm not sure what first fire this is. Damn it. Again, this is part of the log screw up. Oh, the first fire is over here. So throws 2 residuals in there, and I just simply run up the road. Why? This guy's final fired. He can't fire again. He's final fired. He's final fired. And this unit can't fire upon him because he's holed down behind the wall. And Handle can't do shit. He had 1 unit that could fire on me. Well, you got this guy over here, but he's not going to be that effective. So I pretty much run down for free. He's first fired here, which gives this unit freedom to enter this location here. And technically, if you could, bounce off there. So I can go 1, 1. If I wanted to bypass, well, that'd still be 5. So there'd be no point in doing that. Plus, I have 2 turns to get rid of these guys in this building. Honestly, no real rush. At this point, I have limited to no opportunity to getting our building back right here. But that wasn't the point. The point was to take the building, so he'd have to come back and force his infantry to come this direction. Was he going to go there anyway? It's possible. It's possible. You know, there's a lot of heat going on over here. Lots of troops down there. Highly possible he's going to go there anyway. Especially since I took it. Highly possible. So not a big deal. Let's continue moving here. He can't fire. I guess he just runs over. Final protective fire. Not final fires, not final protective fire. And You know, he rolls a 5. Excellent roll. Roll morale check, stripes me. Don't really care. He doesn't score a point. I'm still alive. We fire back. Boom. That was actually a huge roll, the 3 and the morale check that he failed. Huge. Now, guess what? He has to route out. I'll essentially have the building for free. So that was a huge bonus. These guys advance fire on whatever. It gets nothing. You know, most of the results here are pretty average rolls, to be honest. I mean, if I roll 3 for an attack, the result itself is like a 1 morale check or a normal morale check. So you're getting a result, but the result isn't like a 4 morale check. They're just normal morale checks, and you have 8 morale units. Everyone's got 8 morale units in the game, pretty much. And you just got to make your rolls. It's a simple fact. It's a simple fact. Do the best you can with the units that you have. And again, the 238 here. I don't know if anybody's gone missing from here. No, there's not, because that's a 458. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe he dropped the support weapon. Don't know. He routes up that direction because the hedge can't interdict. 1, 2. This is 3 movement factors, so it's closer than these buildings over here. And he can't see anybody. He can't see these guys. They can't see him. So he goes 1, 2, 3, and he continues. Then he sees this guy, and so he can't go here. So he's got to go 4, 5. Well, he'd go here, but you put the body in the building, so I have to force him to route out. He's likely just going to move the leader. Actually, it's my turn, so we can't move the leader over. And I think we realize that the smoke's gone at that point. So I just move these guys up. So this gives me 2 options. If I move them here, I can always come back to the building, jump into close combat, and we're covering the road, right? He's got line of sight. He's got line of sight there. Don't think that you don't. He's got line of sight there. So we've got a 4-2 and a 2-2 shot if he wants to try and get tricky and go back this way. If he wants to do that, I get free shots. I'll take them. Highly likely that he'll break, or at least pinned. If he pins, he's done, because he has 1 more movement phase left. 1 more movement phase. And again, we have fire this way and fire that way. So he does have a lot of units that he can move, which, again, puts me in dire straits of he can force a shot. It's just a matter of which ones do I need to take. Very difficult to think of. From X3, I advance onto the tank. Why? Because it's much easier to destroy. Actually, the leader's much easier to destroy. But this tank can start and run away. So, should I have gone against the leader? Maybe. Maybe. That would have been 4-1. Most likely -1. And so that would have been an 11 for an elimination. But he's 1-4. He would have needed a 4 for an elimination or a 5 for a CR. See, I don't want that to happen. 5 for a CR here. 4 for an elimination, which can be easily rolled. Or guess what? I go here. I get close combat roll, right? Squad is 5. My CCV is 5. And I think I roll a tank hunting hero, but I think nothing happens with it. I think he misses. CCV is 5. Open top vehicle, -2. He's not immobile. That's the other guy. So I need a 7 in that hex there. This looks like a 7 right here, unless I missed another one. His machine gun can't be used in close combat, but it does allow him to not be without the machine gun. So both my guys go in there. The half squad has a 3 firepower and close combat value, but he's immobile and he's open top. So that's a -3. So that's a 6 for the half squad and a 7 for the full squad. Pretty much similar. So 238 advances here. Not sure why. Maybe the 238 goes here to threaten this, because I could dash across the road, get into that building for free. Essentially, it's a squad's worth of points. Essentially, it will take 2 points away from him. I can possibly get this building here, so it looks like a 2, 4, and then 7 for this building here. Not all of that's guaranteed. We're still fighting to the end. 7 total possible points, or again, this unit up here can go directly into the building. If the leader comes across, I close combat the leader, but he can go directly into that building. So, unlikely to go back this direction. Too much heat. So you got to take the points where they're given to you, and both those tanks are 10 points each, or 5 points each. So it's 10 points total. Got to go where the money's at. So I advanced my squad up here, my half squad here, to get point blank shots. So if this unit wants to come around, he can, but he's hitting more open ground shots. He can go through here or there. That's a 2-2. Follow it up with another 2-2. If that doesn't work, maybe go here. Right? If this unit happens to get into here, then we can occupy this building. 2, 3, 4, and jump into close combat. So we have options. If he leaves this building, we could take it and come back over to counterattack. Or we simply just take that building, stay there, whatever, depending on what the rules are. So I've got a lot of that building covered. Not well. Anything can happen. Anything can happen between now and then. So I go for tank hunting hero. Right here. And the 5 would have destroyed the vehicle anyway. The 5 would destroy the vehicle anyway for the 237. So even if the tank hunting hero destroyed it, if that same roll would have been the same with the 237, still would have destroyed the vehicle. It wouldn't have been in flames though, but that doesn't matter. This one over here, of course I miss. And so my unit over there is in melee. Of course, the easier one you miss. So rally, he has, Jesus, who's he rallying? Oh, he's self-rally. Oh, right there. He gets that self-rally. That's huge. That's huge. This self-rally is huge. Now it changes the entire complexion over here. It's not going to be an easy cakewalk. So that's pretty tough, unfortunately. What's the point value? This is turn 6. He gets 1 turn. I get 1 turn. 4-point difference now. 4-point difference. Okay. Let's back up just a little bit. Trying to get the points on the map. There you go. 4-point difference. So we had like a 12-point difference. So fight back, scratch back. He prep fires because the vehicle is not held in melee. Triple point blank fire. Rolls a 5. Good roll, right? I get a morale check. Fail the morale check. I'm striped. What does that do? Well, actually, because this unit shouldn't have been in smoke, he actually got across over here to the Z2 building because I am in smoke. That would have been a 2-, probably a 1-2 because he probably dashed. So anyway, it kind of turns into a wash. Occupies the building, so I have to kill him to control the building. This unit moves there. Roll a crappy 9. It's like, oh well, whatever. I think he assault moves there. Yeah, he just needs an assault move advance phase. The crew or the half squad comes up this direction to block. That's fine. Guess what's in here? That's got a leader in there. That's killable. So these units over here, just taking the route up north. He DMs this unit again, down here in the bottom. Beautifully done. Comes down here, DMs, goes back up. So that unit's essentially not going to rally. I can't occupy that building with a lucky rally on that guy. And then he occupies. Then he will occupy this building to defend it against anybody running in there. So down here, I fire 2 even shot. Roll a 4, 1, So that cowers to a one firepower. Duh. Kind of stumbling here. And it's a normal morale check. What's he roll? 12. So he breaks and his casualty breaks and casualty reduced. Just like my 12 over here, he rolls his own 12. So that secures that building, as his other unit doesn't move. So so he's going to secure this building, because if he leaves this one, it's possible he may lose them both. So that's, again, just a choice on your own. Breaks this unit. Do I care? Do I care that this unit's broken? Nope. Because he can't kill him now. I just route somewhere and that's it. He's not going to get, he's not pursue him. Because this tank here fired upon me in close combat, he can't move, so we're going to enter melee. Another round of melee. Round or two. So he routes this unit over here, just low crawls backwards, right? Because his destination is over in BB6. He can't get closer to anybody else. He's very close of dying. That guy's from that direction. He's this direction. He's that direction. That's not decreasing range to anybody. If it were, he'd be gone. So that would have been a nice point. So be careful where you advance. Again, we're at 18 to 21. Super close. He's going to have 7 over here. I might have... Well, he's going to have a lot. I need to kill this tank. Stacks up over here. Stacks up on the bottom. Spreads out. Gains the consumer goes on the bottom. I get lucky in CC. I'm not sure why there's 2. I get a 4 because I attack first. Destroys the vehicle. No crew survival possible. So I'm at 23 to 21. Not too bad. But he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4. He has 14 points. So essentially it's 35 to 23. I'm still way behind. I'm still way behind at this point because I really don't control any buildings. So continue moving. The snake eyes, I think, was wind direction. Or maybe it was the flame. The flame spread. I think the flame spread, it puts it out. So that's actual unit now. I can prep fire and then just advance into close combat. There's no point in moving into Z2. The terrain, I got a +1 TEM for the wreck. He doesn't really have much come back at me, 4 even, or 4+1. It's no big deal. And I think I bounced this unit here. He gets a 6, respectable roll, task check, no effect. Subsequent first fire rolls a 12, and then he final protective fires, rolls a 10. He'll break. He won't get eliminated, so which actually is a good thing. When he intensifies, or not intensifies, but final protective fire here, he'll break. Guess what? He'll have to route. And he will not surrender because he is Gurkha. So he'll start routing this way. Doesn't really matter. Because it's my last turn, I believe. Yeah, it's my last turn. And so he just routes away. It saves him 2 points or 1 point for me killing him in close combat. So again, decision. Could he have stayed there to attack me in close combat? Yeah, but he decided to make sure he kept that 1 point. Not a problem with that. And now we have our unit, our hero of the game, the 127 who couldn't do jack shit. 1.5 movement factors. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's not an LOS. Look at that hex spine right there. The building is right at the hex spine. That's a nasty one. You got to pay attention to little details like that. He's got no LOS to EE6. Therefore, I'm going to jump in this building and capture it for 4. So at that point, we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he'll have 3, 6, 8. So I think it goes pretty fast from here. My units just move. Right here, shoots at me. And I'm not sure what happened, but they split. Oh, casual election, baby. No. I just failed a morale check, I think. Yeah, probably failed a morale check. So he got a point. Takes wall advantage air. Forces that got a DM. I get essentially 2 points for that. 4 points for this. And then that's the end of the game. Down to the last advance phase. Gets the 4 here. Gets the 2 here because he's got a route out. And that was a 1 point game. 23 to 22. Couple miscues. I think maybe a movement. A couple 2 non-CXs down here. And then the tank hunting hero, which didn't matter here because it actually penalized me because that same roll would have applied to my close combat and that would have destroyed the vehicle just as well. It just wouldn't have caused a flame. So, still would have had the same effect over here with the 248. That vehicle here would have still died the same. But very close, very close. Again, this is the game that where essentially the lesson is don't give up. Don't be a puss. Don't give up when you've beaten down a little bit. Anytime you have ASL or you're rolling dice, I mean, I rolled a 12 over here on the right-hand side. You know, essentially it completely lost and created this problem over here, which, to be honest with you, if I didn't roll the 12, who's to say that, you know, this guy didn't come over with the leader and jump me in close combat and kill me and then delay these units from getting back over here and sending everybody else away. So to be honest with you, that 12 over here could have won me the game depending on how the rest of that would be worked out. Would this unit have moved over here? Not at all. This unit would have stayed over here and fought. 100% of the time, that unit is not moving this direction. He's fighting this way. The half squad's moving this direction. So this unit is not coming back down this way. That's not a viable. So to be honest with you, that 12 saved me the game. Rolling the 12 here saved me the game. Right? The rest of the shots were just normal shots. Good low rolls, you know, like any other roll. But you saw some of the 10s, the 11s, the 4s, the 5s, the 3s. All of them turn out to be like 1 morale checks because, or normal morale checks because we're on low firepower. You know? And we're just either passing or not passing morale checks. And that's what happens. So, but yeah, I was definitely willing to concede this game super early. It's like, I'll just take a break. I just need a super break. And we did, and we came back, and it turned out to be an interesting firefight. And most of all, what it did is allowed me to be put in situations. Oh, they're coaxial machine guns. I can approach this vehicle with impunity because he's hauled down here and he's hauled down here. And so he can't fire that bow machine gun. You know, these little things that you got to pick up only by playing. Had I quit earlier, these guys never would have come on. That situation would have never brought itself up into the game. And who's to learn from them? My tank hunting heroes, when they come on, I learned a little bit about the tank hunting heroes. Even by doing them slightly incorrectly, you learn a little bit. 1, 2, 6. Move them up here. Oh, I keep them within 6. Just in case. So, very close game. Mark was a very good opponent. Put the pressure on. I was really, that last turn 5 Jap allies about this building down here. Turn 6, rather. That could have gone in a lot of different ways. But again, don't bash the decisions. It's based upon the scenario. It's based upon what your plan is and what you think you want to do in your plan. And essentially, when your units break, make sure they work for you. Right? Make sure your units work for you. And it's as simple as that. So, thanks for watching this particular game. Sure, it was a lengthy one, but there's a lot of good learning points in this particular scenario. If you didn't learn anything, you probably weren't watching or fell asleep. It's possible. So, lots of different little things happening. Lots of bizarre things on both sides. So we both got good rolls. We both got bad rolls. So, but I felt like I had nobody left in the game. And I literally have one 4 units. 4 units left in the game. Everybody else is dead. He pretty much has 3 or 4 units as well. So knockdown, drag out fight as it appeared to be from the scenario card. As it appeared to be from the scenario card. Knockdown, drag out fight. Anyway, thank you so much. This is probably going to go super long, but lots and lots of learning here. I just want to slow it down, get you into our thought processes and crap like that. So thanks for watching. If you watched the whole way, give a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways, subscribe, leave a comment if you made it the whole way. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.